Hello, and welcome to my presentation on avoiding sexist language. Let's get started. Okay, first, in your quest to avoid sexist language, avoid using he or him as universal pronouns to refer to all people. For example, instead of saying every executive expects his quarterly bonus, write, executives expect their quarterly bonuses. So there we just made the subject and the pronoun plural to avoid the his, the masculine pronoun. Or you can simply say executives expect quarterly bonuses and just leave the pronoun out altogether. Alright, avoid gendered pronouns. Change the wording from singular to plural to avoid gender-specific pronouns. Singular pronouns become plural pronouns when you do this. Okay, let's look at an example. Each supervisor must submit his proposal. Notice the his, the masculine pronoun there. How about this correction? Supervisors must submit their proposals. So we have changed the singular language to plural language to include everyone and to make it gender non-specific. Okay. Eliminate gender-specific pronouns whenever possible. Just leave them out altogether. For example, each operator worked on his machine. Well, what if you have some female operators, right? Let's just say each operator worked on a machine. See? Gender-neutral language. Here's another example. The candidate must submit his loan application by Friday. We could just say the candidate must submit a loan application by Friday. Again, eliminating gender-specific pronouns. All right, this is a good one. You want to avoid this awkward construction. Have you ever seen writing where people put she, he, she with these slashes, his, her with these slashes? No, you don't want to do that. Here's an example of what I mean. Every manager must submit his, her own paperwork. No, that even looks awkward. So you don't want to do that. Here's another thing that people do. Although this is more acceptable, try to avoid writing it out as he or she, his or her. This is what I mean. Here's an example. See that? How his or her is written out. So you want to do this rather than the slash thing, but you really want to avoid these constructions in your writing whenever possible. Okay, here are some examples of words that we have used all the time that may be a little gender specific. In other words, alternative words that we can use to include everyone so that you don't have simply the masculine that we all grew up with. So instead of mankind, humankind. Instead of mothering, parenting. Instead of fireman, firefighter. Policeman, how about police officer? To man, as in a verb, let's say to operate or to staff. Instead of workmen's compensation, let's say workers' compensation. Instead of chairman, chairperson. These are just a few examples of ways that you can take language that might be gender specific and make it inclusive without the gender attachment. Okay, let's move forward. You want to avoid stereotypes in your writing, especially in professional writing and in business or workplace situations. So do not write, any professor will maximize his chances of getting tenure if he publishes a book. You see all that masculine in there? Because now we're assuming that most professors are men and many professors are women. Right? So you don't want to write in a way that suggests stereotypes. Here's the next example. A secretary usually checks the mail when she first arrives to the office. We're just assuming that ladies are secretaries. I had an uncle who worked as an executive assistant for more than 20 years. So we don't want to make these assumptions in our writing. In summary, here's the key. Use gender-neutral language to avoid ostracizing or leaving out intelligent, capable members of society and in the workplace. So is it necessary for you to make all of these accommodations and write in a gender-neutral way? Yes, especially in professional and workplace settings, that is a good rule of thumb. Okay, hopefully this presentation has been enlightening and helpful to you. Happy writing!